Good evening and thank you for joining us here at GBS News at 9. My name is Beatrice Njeri. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenge. Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. And now, President William Ruto has arrived in Arusha, Tanzania to attend the 24th Ordinary Summit of East African Community. The summit will bring together regional leaders to tackle critical issues such as economic integration, climate change, and security, with President Ruto advocating for the removal of trading barriers and stronger regional partnerships. He will also participate in a session celebrating the East African Community's 25th anniversary. Here are the details. President William Ruto arrived in Arusha, Tanzania today, where he is set to join other East African heads of state at the 24th Ordinary Summit of the East African Community. The summit brings together regional leaders to address pressing issues facing the East Africa community, from economic integration to climate change resilience and security challenges. Upon arrival at the Kilimanjaro International Airport, President Ruto was warmly welcomed by Constitutional Affairs Minister Professor Kamalagamba Kabudi, East Africa Secretary General Veronica Duva, and a delegation of key officials including the EAC Cabinet Secretary Beatrice Askul and Attorney General Dorcas Oduor. His participation in the summit marks another step in Kenya's continued engagement in development of the East African region. The East Africa Community Summit will provide a platform for leaders to discuss strategies aimed at strengthening regional integration. Key topics include accelerating economic integration, addressing the region's vulnerability to climate change, and tackling insecurity. In particular, President Ruto is expected to advocate for the removal of trade barriers, the promotion of cross-border commerce, and the enhancement of partnerships in energy, agriculture, and digital innovation. These efforts are geared toward creating jobs and improving livelihoods across the region. In addition to these crucial discussions, President Ruto will take part in an interactive session that celebrates the 25th anniversary of the East African Community. The session will highlight the milestone that the East African Community has achieved on its journey towards political federation, underscoring the significance of regional cooperation. National Assembly, led by its Majority Leader Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, has warned church leaders to leave politics for politicians and continue doing what the Holy Bible instructs them to do. The Majority Leader, who backed a point of order which was raised by Minority Leader Honorable Junet Mohammed, stated on his disappointment after the church stated on the Parliament being taken over by the executive. Davis Karani has more details.
The National Assembly has rebutted the statements that were recently released by the clergy from Presbyterian Church of East Africa over the executive controlling the parliament following the impeachment of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, a motion that was done within a period of 10 days. And instead, the National Assembly Majority Leader has asked the church to deal with the immorality happening within the church first before poking holes in the parliament.
We must not be afraid to tell our religious leaders that even when we do good, as the book of Hebrews tells us, when we give in church, we do not give in church to please the bishop, the moderator, the reverend, not even the church members, the congregations in our churches. We do it because the good book in the Bible tells us, do good and communicate because it is pleasing to God. I never go to church to please my bishop. I never go to church to please my moderator. I neither go to church to satisfy the whims of my reverend. I go to church and do what I do because it is pleasing to my God.
According to the clergy, they stated that the National Assembly should be independent and should be people-centric and avoid losing its focus of representing the people with representing the executive, and instead work on establishing and passing important bill of constituting a new IEBC, which will conduct by-elections to fill in vacant gaps of representation.
We are concerned, like the way we have seen Parliament behave in the recent past, that what the executive wants done is done in record time. That shows us like Parliament is not fully, it's not independent. It's like it's arm twisted.
Countering this statement, the National Assembly Minority Leader Honorable Junet Mohammed stated that the church must respect the institutions of governance and has vowed to lead the parliamentary union that will always be defending Parliament from external attacks.
You cannot blame members of Parliament who come from the ruling party why they are supporting their government. Yes. People have been elected on parties. Yes. People went to be elected on Kenya Kwanza, others went to be elected on Azimio, others went to ODM. Mr. Speaker, you cannot blame a member of Parliament from the ruling party. Why is he supporting his government? He made a decision in 2022 to run on that party and to support that government. Mr. Speaker, this is the place we need to speak. If the church can speak in the church, we will also speak in Parliament.
The institution of the church always brings sanity to the society, and one of its major roles is to rebuke. And when the church rebukes positively, it should be absorbed in a positive manner for the good of the society, as Parliament also keeps its mandate too, as per the Kenyan Constitution, without getting influence. Davis Karani, GBS News, Nairobi.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has today presided over the official opening of the annual Editors' Convention in Nakuru. The convention, held once every year, is organized by the Kenya Editors Guild and has been held at Sarova Woodlands Hotel in Nakuru County. Editors have gathered in Nakuru for the 5-day convention to share ideas in line with this year's theme of innovative storytelling that can build public trust and drive change in the digital world. The 7th annual Kenya's Editor Convention is set to run to December 1st, 2024. This year's theme, Innovative Storytelling for Public Good, Building Trust and Driving Change in the Digital Age, emphasizes the critical role of the media in fostering trust and affecting positive change through effective storytelling techniques. The convention has gathered media stakeholders from across Eastern Africa, providing a platform for editors and journalists to share insights, discuss challenges, and explore innovative strategies in journalism.
The exercise of media freedom, as guaranteed by the Constitution, should be of necessity be tempered with a sense of responsibility, as I have said, and accountability. It is more common today to find single perspectives, barely tempered by a right of reply about perceived government action or inaction. Indeed, it is not uncommon to see small insert apologies, often a few days after a sensational story has been published, seeking to apologize and clarify positions, and only after a victim has called the media out for its misreporting, by which time the credibility of the victim is in shambles. Journalists must uphold a high level of professionalism that is founded on professional standards. The fight against corruption, which I think remains one of the most consequential fights that this country must sustain to be able to survive in the long run, for the country to survive in the long run. I would have thought that, for example, the measures taken by the government to increase transparency and track the money that the government collects from the people of Kenya is a bold step towards enhancing transparency and improving the fight against corruption. Because that way, the next thing now to be asked, or we should be asking, is how that money is being used for the benefit of the people of Kenya. We believe in the freedom of the media. We endeavor to protect it. Our Constitution has guaranteed these freedoms. And you expect it in a society, occasionally there will be infractions. The problem is when we do not address those infractions as we are required. And therefore, I want to commit for the journalist who was hurt. I will be following up on where we are, and I want to undertake, Madam President and the rest of the colleagues here, that we are going to follow up to ensure justice is done and establish who did this and bring that person to account.
Absa Bank Kenya has strengthened economic growth by empowering 1,000 SMEs in Mount Kenya and northeastern regions through forums promoting financial solutions, market access, and mentorship. The bank's Wezesha Caravan Tour provided entrepreneurs with crucial skills and networks to enhance resilience and drive business growth, earning praise for its grassroots impact. Here are the details.
Absa Bank Kenya has concluded a series of empowerment forums in Mount Kenya and northeastern regions, providing 1,000 small and medium enterprises with a platform to engage and network with industry leaders and to learn about financial solutions to enable sustained business growth and resilience. Speaking during the forum in Murang'a, Absa Bank Kenya head of SME, Rasta Mudhura, highlighted the bank's commitment to empowering SMEs.
Most traders, even in the markets, are actually women. And when you empower women, you empower so many people directly and indirectly, because women have a certain capacity of even wanting and agreeing to start small.
Our women here, they have learned a lot on how they can benefit in terms of access to information, access to market linkages, and also access to digital information on how they can be able to empower their businesses. We also appreciate that women, they face unique challenges when they are doing their businesses. I'm glad because Absa Bank, with its understanding and wisdom, they'll be able to come up with the solutions that are geared, that are shaped or that are driven to support women in their businesses as they face unique challenges.
In other business updates, Kenya's inflation edged up to 2.8 year-on-year in November, from 2.7% a month earlier. On a monthly basis, inflation was 0.3% compared to 0.2% in October, according to a statement by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Kenya targets an inflation rate of between 2.5% and 7.5% in the medium term. The Central Bank of Kenya is due to announce its latest benchmark lending rate decision on December 5th. In October, the bank cut its rate to 12.00% from 12.75%. Hilary Kabila, GBS News.
Many thanks for joining this live broadcast. We have a lot lined up for you in our new segment tonight, but first let us take a quick break. We'll be right back with even more.
Welcome to the 254 Trivia Game Show, where every second counts and the stakes are sky high.
Get ready for jaw-dropping challenges, mind-bending questions, and unbeatable fun.
Who will rise to the top and claim the ultimate prize?
Tune into GBS TV and let the games begin.
Don't miss out. This is the 254 Trivia Game Show. Good luck.
Because those people, let's commend them on their quality. Sana their music videos quality na top notch.
Kwa artist atakuwa msanii. Usiende kwa studio kwanza kurecord ngoma bila kuwa educated about music. Juu sasa utaingia hapo, urecord ngoma yako vizuri alafu hiyo utakuwa umegain kila kitu, but pia label uyachangi hivyo. Yeah, we helped you, so you are supposed to
do something.
Yeah.
Kiingia unapangwa contract. Unajua contract inakonga between two parties. Mnaagria under one thing, kila mtu analeta interest zake, then mnaangalia vile mtapata.
We have talent in the ghettos, but manze usanii ni ngumu, designer wise endelea.
True. Manze mimi niliona movie ya Kenya je. Na movie ilikuwa ina trend. Walitumia Land Rover hizi za kitambo, hizi chuma, hizi
Mtu akisenza audio kitu ni ya uongo.
Umeelewa kabisa.
Form 1 kuna mseme hando akasema ni artist. Akaambia kuja hapa bro. Unichore pilipili na ukali yake.
Mbona pilipili but sawa, but now how the ukali
everywhere. GBS. Welcome back. You're still watching GBS News at 9. The government has committed to increasing forest cover by planting 15 billion trees in 10 years, with the Ministry of Public Service and Human Capital Development contributing by growing at least 10,000 tree seedlings monthly in Kisumu, Siaya, and Bungoma counties. During a tree planting ceremony at Got Abiero Forest in Siaya, Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi highlighted the forest's significance as a water source and and instructed the National Youth Service to collaborate with the Kenya Forest Service to ensure the sustainability of reforestation efforts. Siaya County Commissioner Norbert Komora emphasized local efforts to plant 16 million trees annually, urging residents to leverage government-provided seedlings and ample rainfall. Siaya County Clerk for Water and Environment, Professor Jacqueline Oduol, reaffirmed the county's commitment to tree planting, noting that ongoing efforts to gazette additional hilltop forests for protection. Siaya Conservator William Ojijo of Kenya Forest Service encouraged the locals to establish private tree nurseries to meet the high demand for seedlings under the government's campaign, which offers employment and income opportunities while restoring degraded forests like Got Abiero.
Today's exercise is in fulfillment of our commitment as a Ministry of Public Service and Human Capital Development to plant and grow trees in 3 counties of Kisumu, Siaya, and Bungoma. This month is Siaya's turn, and I'm happy that we came to this hill, Gotabiero, because fortunately, as we've been informed, it is a gazetted forest, and the hill for purpose of protection. And we've also been told a lot about its usefulness to the local community, both nearby and beyond, because of some of the rivers that emanate from around the hill. Our target today in this hill is to plant 10,000, not less than 10,000 tree seedlings, which have already been delivered by both the National Youth Service and Kenya Forest Service. And I wish also to congratulate and thank the local organization which have also joined us to assist in achieving our goal of 15 billion trees in 10 years. Of course, they say the longest journey begins with one step. We are now not in the first step. We are several steps into it, and therefore we are happy to see the involvement of both the community, the administration, and indeed all actors, both in the religious sector and in civil society. I just want to say that I am myself particularly very grateful for the welcome that have been accorded to me by both the county administration and the local administration in this exercise. I'm sure many of you, as you can see, we're already beginning to sweat. It's not yet over. So we are happy to participate in this exercise. And we are happy also that we are doing this when we have abundant rainfall. Because in the recent past, there has been a challenge where we plant, but we want to really keep.
The National Council of Churches of Kenya has convened a forum in Embu County to address increasing gender-based violence cases against men. The 3-day event seeks to encourage male victims to speak out and promote reporting and readiness mechanism. Safaricom Foundation, through its Shine Kenya Shinda Mamili Kama Bingwa campaign, is empowering communities with projects by campaign winners in Nairobi, Kuria Kanyenge, supported by Bedside Children's Home with bedding, while in Nakuru, Margaret Wamaitha equipped AIC My Mahio Children's Home, improving girls' dormitory conditions. Paris Kego with more from the counties.
Now, apart from that,
as the world observes 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, the National Council of Churches of Kenya has convened a male engagement forum in Embu County. The 3-day forum that commences on Thursday is meant to bring to attention cases of men experiencing GBV that NCCK and NABRI said were on the rise in the county. Stakeholders argued that male cases have received less attention than females, with the society being quick to publicly condemn male perpetrators of GBV without according to the same treatment of females who victimize men. NCCK Embu County Chair Bishop Stephen Jogu said men have been suffering in silence for long and for a number of reasons, including shame, ridicule, and fear of being perceived as weak or less masculine.
Wanaume wamepigwa, wamenyamaza sana, wengine wamekaa huko ndani hawaongei, na tulikuwa tunasema ya kwamba so many of the times wanaume wanakufia ndani kama thamos. So tumesema now it was an engagement, wanaume waanze kuongea, because mostly inasemekana ya kwamba ni wanawake huwa wanapigwa and they report, and so we are trying to involve men ndio waweze kuwa katika ile hali ya kuchangamka na kuongea.
The man of clothes said the era of men suffering in silence due to cultural and traditional misconceptions that men could only be abusers was over. Kenyan National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Embu Branch Chiamugo Mate, said GBV does not only leave lasting effects on victims physically, mentally and socially, but also economically.
Mwanzo ina affect kwa sababu if a man ndiye anachapwa, ndiye anapigwa, hata kupanga mipango ya kinyumbani pia inakuwa ngumu, na unakuta wakati mwanaume anapitia hii violence hata yeye mwenyewe anajidharau. Wakati mwingine unakuta boma zikishabomoka, basi the whole country inarundi ikiwa na iwezi pia kuproduce vizuri, so economy inaenda chini.
NGO Uraya Trust Coordinator Sospita Kitonga called for a survey to be conducted to establish the extent and prevalence of GBV cases against men.
Kikao kimeuliza kama kunawezekana pia kufanya utafiti kama vile kulifanywa utafiti 2022 ili tuone je wanaume ni percentage gani iko prevalence ya GBV kwa wanaume iko na percentage gani.
Meanwhile, the Safaricom Foundation continued the handover of the Shine Kenya Shinda Mamili Kama Bingwa community projects in Nakuru and Nairobi counties. The initiative support project by winner of the campaign, which awarded 31 customers of Kenya shillings 1 million each and an additional Kenya shillings 250,000 for community development. In Nairobi, Kuria Kanyigi uses funds to provide bedding and essential to Bethsaida Children Homes in Kahawa West, fulfilling a long-held desire to give back to his community. In Nakuru, Margaret Omaitha equipped the AIC My Mahio Children Homes Girls Dormitory with a new bedding, improving living condition for the children. The campaign, launched in June, rewarded over 2.5 million Safaricom customers with prizes. Through the foundation, winners are now implementing projects that bring meaningful change to their communities. Peris Kigo, GBS News.
Farmers in Nyandarua County are set to reap big fruit farming courtesy of the county administration. The county government has launched an apple fruit farming, a crop that is viewed to be profitable in terms of fruit production and addressing negative effects of climate change. According to Governor Dr. Moses Kiarie Badilisha, the county administration seeks to ingest 26 million Kenyan shillings to build for capacity building and promotion of apple fruits. Speaking at Murungaro Shopping Center in Kinangop, during the launch of promotion of the apple fruit trees, the governor noted that the market demand for the fruit is huge and can hardly be met, while the price of the fruits are high. The county government is using a TBT model 10 by 10 meters plot, where a farmer can plant at least 26 apple plants and is capable of harvesting twice or thrice per year, producing over 150,000 Kenyan shillings every year. According to studies, there is a huge local and international market for fruits that has been growing steadily over the years. This has challenged so many unemployed youths to consider venturing into trade. A section of farmers who have undergone training on propagating fruit trees have expressed their optimism in the venture, which they say is encouraging based on the potential turnover.
This is only 1 year. We can imagine what will happen in 3 years' time. Waziri.
Wabogo Epo, Oscar Orchard, wako hapa pamoja na pale partners wengine ambao tumekuwa tukishirikiana kufanya siku hii iwe vile ilivyo. Kwa hivyo watu ya Nyandarua mnajua sisi tunajulikana kwa viazi. Tunajulikana kwa mimea ile mingine. Lakini imefika mahali tukaona viazi yetu tukikuza tunaikulia hapa hapa. Viazi yetu haiwezi kwenda kule nje. Hatuna market ya viazi kule nje. Kwa hivyo soko ikiharibika ama climate iwe mbaya, wakulima wetu wanaenda hasara sana. na ndio tumeona leo tuwe na mmea ambao unaweza stahimili hata hali ya anga mbaya, na pia mmea ambaye matunda yale tutatoa tunaweza kuuza kule katika nchi za nje. Mnajua kila mahali inasemekana mambo ya climate change. Tunaambiwa tuweze kupanda miti. Tumejaribu ku encourage watu wetu kupanda miti, na ndio tumekuja na mti ambao unaitwa apple. Ya kwanza ni mti ukipanda inatusaidia katika mambo ya climate change, na pili inatupea matunda. Kwa hivyo kuna motivation, na niwaambia kwamba wale wazazi wetu ambao walipigania uhuru walikuwa na mashamba kubwa kubwa, lakini wakakatia babu zetu wakakatia baba zetu wakatukatia sisi, tunaenda kupea watoto wetu. Kwa hivyo size ya mashamba inaenda ikididimia ikiwa kidogo. Karatigo kohana ndiramuona nyoni ina guoko ndo Nyandarua, muko tuko diari mimi nasikia hapo South Africa, katika Afrika ndio wa kwanza. Namba 2 ni Morocco. Namba 3 ni Kenya. Na Nyandarua ndi rahanda. Nyandarua yahanda ko guikaratia. Umenye muti uyu wa uhanda. Uhandaga waru umuthe, thutha wa mieri ina ugacokia waru ingi hau. Muti wa ipo wahanda ni uguo. Miaka 70 haha. Igana. Miaka 70 igana. Ndugacoka hau ringi. Wira waku no kugathaga ukiendagia.
Indeed, a step in the right direction. Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. That report brings us to our international news, but first let us take a quick commercial break.
So through the 4 gospel books, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, John, we can know the heart of Jesus in depth. And the Jesus that we can feel him through the scriptures, and I'm very thankful about that. Jesus Christ came to this earth for our sins. He carried our sins, and he was crucified, and he received the punishment for sins, and he was put into the tomb and resurrected in 3 days. This is the gospel that we speak. About how Jesus died for our sins. The purpose of Jesus being crucified. He was crucified to pay for our sins. And through Jesus being crucified, clearly our sins have been washed clean. However, unfortunately, many people still say that they are sinners.
Hello friends, welcome to Kids Mind. This is the Coding Zone segment. My name is Andrew, and in this segment I will be teaching you how to code. What comes into your mind when you hear the word coding? Coding is giving simple steps to a device so that it can follow these steps and give you an output. Coding is used to make apps, websites, animations, and even the games that you play on your phone or tablet.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the broadcast, and now to matters international news. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu embarked on a historic state visit to France, meeting with President Emmanuel Macron to bolster economic partnerships and attract foreign investment. The visit, which began on Thursday, marks the first time in 24 years a Nigerian president has visited France, with engagements at the Elysee Palace and Franco-Nigerian Business Council Forum. Here is more on the same.
For the first time in 24 years, a Nigerian president began a state visit to France on Thursday to boost economic ties and attract foreign investments. The visit is symbolic to Nigeria leadership as it marks the first appearance of sitting president at campus SCs in 2 decades. Bola Tinubu chaired meetings at the SC Palace aimed at bolstering his country's position as a top trader partner for France.
We've been working on stabilizing the security system in Nigeria, and we are getting closer and closer. We are doing better now in the area of security. I can assure all the investors here that Nigeria is open for business. And I thank you for your collaboration.
France Emmanuel Macron is pushing to expand his country's strategic ties beyond a traditional sphere of influence in the wake of a series of coups and power shifts that have seen several countries from Mali to Niger move away from their former colonial ruler. France is seeking to strengthen economic ties with Africa as the visit set up the two presidents for meeting at the Franco-Nigeria Business Council Forum.
To us, economic partnerships place France as a partner in the long run to work with you on your country's food safety, the extraction and value of maximization of the critical ore your country has, and as a partner with our industries in your defense and security strategy. Thus, 3 priorities we want to commit to.
Ties between France and the continent are beginning to falter after Niger military junta banned the French aid group Agency for Technical Cooperation and Development, or acted, from working in the country in mid-November. The Ministry of Interior signed a decree withdrawing from non-profit organization license to operate without providing reasons for the decision. Paris Kigo, GBS News.
Tragedy strikes in eastern Uganda as landslides triggered by heavy rains have claimed at least 15 lives, including 7 children, with over 113 people still missing. The disaster has devastated 6 villages in Bulambuli district, leaving homes buried and families displaced. Here are the details.
Bulambuli district, 280 kilometers east of Kampala, turned into a scene of tragedy on Wednesday night when torrential rains triggered massive landslides. Over 40 homes were buried under mudslides spanning 50 acres. Rescue workers and villagers are raising again a attempt to locate survivors, but the death toll is expected to rise. The Ugandan police and Red Cross have recovered 13 bodies so far, with 13 others still accounted for. Roads submerged in mud, and heavy rains are hampering rescue operations, while 2 rescue boats capsized in the River Nile during unrelated missions. Local officials describe the situation as heartbreaking. Bulambuli's landslide-prone terrain has faced similar disasters in recent years, but this marked one of the deadliest incidents. The government is working on relocating residents to a safer area, but for now, survivors must endure overcrowded shelter with limited resources. Meanwhile, the community is calling for urgent action. With rainfall showing no sign of abating, the need for better infrastructure and long-term solutions grow even more critical. Joy Kuria, GBS News.
Chad's government announced the termination of its defense cooperation agreement with France on Thursday, signaling a move to assert sovereignty and redefine partnerships. This decision follows similar shifts by other African nations, raising questions about France's diminishing influence in the region amid growing ties between Chad and Russia. Here is the full report.
Chad's government stated on Thursday it has ended its defense cooperation pact with France, a move that could see French troops leave the Central Africa country. In a statement, Chad Foreign Ministry said the country, a key Western ally in the fight against Islamic militants in the region, wanted to fully assert its sovereignty after more than 6 decades of independence. It said the decision to end the defense cooperation agreement, revised in 2019, would enable it to redefine its strategic partnership. Chad has cooperated closely with Western nations' military forces in the past, but it has moved closer to Russia in recent years. The decision is another nail in the coffin of France's historic and colonial rule in West and Central Africa after being forced to pull its troops out of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso following military coups. The military juntas have since turned to Russia, which have mercenaries deployed across the Sahel region, a band of countries stretching from Africa northwest to northeast of course, and has been fostering closer ties with Chad President Mahamat Deby. There were no indications that Paris had been given advance notice of the decision, although a French envoy to President Emmanuel Macron this weekend handed a report with proposal on how France could reduce a military presence in Chad, Gabon, and Ivory Coast, where it has deployed thousands of troops for decades. In a further blow to France, Senegal President Bassirou Diomaye Faye said in an interview with a French state TV on Thursday that it was inappropriate for French troops to maintain a presence in his country. He stopped short of saying if or when French troops would be asked to leave, but said Paris would be the first to know. Paris Kigo, GBS News.
Do keep your comments coming in through our SMS line 21144 and GBS TV Africa on all our social media handles. That international news brings us to our sports news. Let's get sporty. Kenya Under-17 team has been drawn in Pool B of the 2025 AFCON Under-17 CECAFA qualifiers following a draw conducted by the Council of East and Central Africa Football Associations. Host Uganda are in Pool A alongside Tanzania, Ethiopia and Burundi. Kenya Under-17 boys have been drawn in Pool B and are set to compete against 2022 champions Somalia, South Sudan and Sudan. The Kenya Under-17 team will be led by Salim Babu, who will be supported by assistant coach Anthony Akolia, as they aim to secure qualification for the continental tournament, having helped Kenya's Under-20 team qualify for the 2025 AFCON Under-20 tournament. According to Yusuf Mosi, the CECAFA competitions director, all teams will have their players undergo the mandatory magnetic resonance imaging test to determine if they are eligible to play in the tournament. The competition will bring together 8 teams and will take place at Hams Stadium in Nakivumbo and St. Mary Stadium, Kitende in Uganda between December 14th to 27th, 2024. The best 2 teams will qualify to represent the CECAFA zone at the CAF Under-17 AFCON tournament to take place in 2025. Maureen Chepkoech, one of Kenya's top cross-country athletes, is supposed to headline the senior women's 10-kilometer race at the 4th leg of the Athletics Kenya Betika cross-country series in Bomet this Saturday. After claiming victories in the first 2 legs, she is chasing her 3rd win in the series, cementing her dominance in the ongoing competition. Over 500 athletes are expected to compete, making the event a showcase of talent. The race will take place at Bomet Airstrip, renowned for its flat and fast course, will offer athletes an excellent opportunity to test their speed. According to John Kimeto, an Athletics Kenya executive member and veteran coach, preparations are nearly complete. Bomet, known for the producing stars like Beatrice Chepkoech, Agnes Ngetich and John Corrill, is set to host another thrilling chapter in this cross-country series. Chepkoech started her campaign with an impressive win at the Machakos Opener on the 19th of October, clocking 36 minutes 22 seconds. She followed it up with another strong performance at the Kapsong leg on the 26th of October, where she finished in 34 minutes and 5 seconds. Despite skipping the 3rd leg in 10, Chepkoech remains focused and determined to reclaim her top spot in Bomet.
Na leo ni jana ilikuwa siku ya kwanza kufika hapa. Huwa nasikianga tu Machakos. Nilikimbia 10 kilometers na nikakuwa mshindi, nika win 300,000 na leo nimekimbia cross 10 kilometer pia nimekuwa mshindi, nikachukua 50,000. So nilikuwa nataka nisaidie wazazi kwa project yenye
Harambee Stars have dropped 2 places in the last FIFA rankings released on Thursday by World Governing Body. The national football team is now placed in position 108, down from 106th position it held in October. The drop follows the botched qualification for the 2025 African Cup of Nations as Kenya failed to seal a ticket to the most prestigious football tournament on the continent. Harambee Stars finished third in Group J behind Cameroon and Zimbabwe, following a 1-1 draw against Later and a goalless stalemate against Namibia in the last 2 matches of the qualifiers earlier this month. The team also suffered a 2-0 defeat and a 1-1 draw against South Sudan in the first round of the African Nations Championship qualification. Uganda retained its spot as the highest ranking country in the CECAFA region despite slipping 1 place to 88, with Morocco remaining the highest ranked African country in 14th. Tanzania was among the biggest improvers in the rankings as they jumped 6 spots from 112 to 106, finally overtaking Kenya. Taifa Stars will travel to Morocco next year after stealing the 2nd spot in Group H after finishing 2nd behind DR Congo in the qualifiers. And that sports news brings us to the end of our news segment tonight. Here at GBS News at 9, we make your news our business. My name is Beatrice Njeri. Our sign language interpreter is Paul Mathenke. Good night.
Everywhere, GBS.